now, and foreign ministers of the European Union are gathered in Brussels for a Foreign Affairs Council meeting. The talks are focused on the security situation in Egypt and Libya. European Union Foreign Policy Chief Federica Mogherni says ministers are also addressing measures to reduce violence in Ukraine. British Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson, however, says the UK will insist that there's no case for easing sanctions against Russia. Further discussions revolve around efforts to curb migrant flows across the Mediterranean Sea. Let's get you a quick update on that meeting now. I'm joined from Brussels by Mariam Zaidi. Mariam, Libya and the Mediterranean migration have been a focus of these meetings. How close are we to knowing the terms of the deal with Libya that was signed at the Malta summit last week?
Hi, Beatrice. Well, that declaration on Libya was signed, as you said, in Malta last week. And the plan really indicates a strong sign from European leaders to crack down on illegal migration. 90% of arrivals along the central Mediterranean route do obviously come from Libya. Now, the EU has agreed to provide 200 million euros for projects aimed at preventing migrants from crossing the Mediterranean from the Libyan coast. And it will target smuggler networks and illegal trafficking routes. The EU will also help to train, equip and support Libya's National Coast Guard. Now, many have criticised this deal. Rule of law is barely functioning in Libya, and essentially migration is being delegated to a country that hasn't signed the Geneva Convention on Refugees. But in this deal, the EU says that it will work with the support of UN agencies and local NGOs to help manage the Libyan camps where refugees and migrants are held. So does that do enough on ensuring human rights? Well, that does remain to be seen. But even in its press release following the meeting of foreign ministers today, the human rights abuse of migrants by Libyan authorities was once again underlined. But another aspect highlighted today was the need for Libya to really own their migration problem. Well, definitely now through this deal, there's no escaping that for now. But foreign ministers also said that with Libya, their support for Libya goes beyond migration. They also want to see a political transition in Libya, and they will support it.
Well, Mariam, Libya has been a topic of discussion there, but also Egypt has been another topic of discussion at these meetings in Brussels. What's being discussed today?
Well, on Egypt, discussions were on two fronts. They were on migration, but also on counterterrorism. Now, in the last 3 years, the EU has provided 320 million euros of assistance to Egypt, with an association council set for spring 2017. This meeting looked at priorities for the next 3 years, which include economic, political and social development in Egypt. Now, the relationship with Egypt is important because of its the country's own relations with African and Arab countries. And so the EU sees Egypt then as a key partner for Libya and the Middle East peace process. And that was underlined today by Ms. Mogherini when she spoke just a short while ago.
Right, Mariam Zaidi joining us there from Brussels. Thank you.